before we go into that, this free throw thing just got me fired up again about a memory that just from a couple weeks ago, we didn't record an episode about it, but it was in the game that Jokic got ejected. I'm sure everybody saw that. But so the first tech that he got was in the first half, and it was on a play that Marvin Bagley, I believe it was. I'm pretty sure it was Marvin Bagley or Isaiah Stewart. One of those two had a lane violation on the free throw. He stepped into the free throw lane like before the shot went up. And then the ref blew the whistle and just had him reshoot the free throw, which is the opposite of what you're supposed to do when you blow the whistle for a lane violation on the offensive team, on the team shooting the free throw.
It's supposed to kill the free throw.
Yeah, that's essentially calling it on the Nuggets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of what you should do. And so Jokic got mad and it was like, he was like arguing with the ref and they started like fighting back and forth, yelling, and then he got teed up. But like, that's just such a stupid play to me.
Is that when Malone got ejected, or what did Malone do?
Malone was later, shortly later.
Because did Malone get straight kicked, or was it like teed twice?
He got teed, and then as he got, like when he got teed, he basically like teed the ref back. You should look at the video. He clearly walks up to him and says like "F you," like very like aggressively to the ref. Like he blows up at the ref as soon as he gives him a tee, and like just gets kicked out. But and like he doesn't even come back to the bench at all. He literally just like
he knows.
He just starts walking out of the arena. But it was like that. I think when he started talking to the ref was right after that Jokic thing happened. And then there was multiple possessions of like Jokic being bumped and like scraped and like, you know, how he always is.
Yep.
And refs just not calling anything. And then, so Malone's just talking with a ref, and eventually, I don't remember what happened on the play that he blew up, but I don't think it was anything major. I think it was just like a culmination of everything. But that was still in the first half. I want to say that he got tossed. Malone. David Adelman took over as the head coach, and then in the second half,
which is crazy that he's still in Denver. Respectfully, I think we talked about this in the offseason. The fact that he did not, maybe he interviews bad, I don't know. The fact that he did not get poached by somebody for a head coaching spot is crazy. That he's still in Denver.
He got interviewed a few places, I think. But yeah, it's very nice for us because he's our offensive coordinator, and I think he's a big part of the way things go there. Him and Jokic, I think, are a really good match. But anyway, so Jokic got tossed because I think it was Marvin Bagley was guarding him. Are you watching the Malone?
I watched the Malone one. He's standing in the corner, like almost like PJ Tucker, just standing in the corner because he's like not all the way off the court, like yelling, and the ref's like, stop. And then he tees him up, and Malone goes very clearly, F you. And then walks.
As he's like walking right towards him, right? Pretty sure he like walks up to him and says
the timing, because I think he sees the ref like, okay, this is done, you're done. And then he just starts going. Doesn't even look at the ref again. Just F you, and then keeps going.
I'm pretty sure Malone does that sometimes on purpose. Like I've seen Malone get tossed multiple times exactly like that. Like where he gets the first tech and then he's like, F it all, you know, like I'll get the second one right here. I don't care.
When the guy that takes over for you is like just as, if not like, not, I don't want to say more competent, but like, it's not like there's this giant drop off.
Like he's nowhere close to Malone in terms of like the way he commands like a room.
Demands like attention and demands. Yeah.
But he's a very, very competent basketball mind.
No, but in terms of like getting into a huddle and drawing up a play, there's you're fine. There's not going to be any issues.
But I think the reason Malone does that though is part of why what we're talking about here, the factor that he has as a coach that I don't think David Adelman is quite as strong in is the motivation factor. Like, because that game and multiple games that the Nuggets have had, motivation is clearly a big issue. And Malone getting himself tossed from a game a lot of times has like
gets people fired up.
Yeah, it gets people fired up. And then Jokic getting tossed, like that added another layer on top of it. Like the Nuggets after that were like, we didn't win the game, but or wait, no, I think we did. I want to say we did. It was really close, but I think we did pull that game out. It was the Pistons, yeah. I think we won that game. But it was on a play where Marvin Bagley it just kind of bumped into him. It was like a borderline foul, but I think it was just like the fact that it kept happening and, you know, he wasn't ever getting any of the calls. That he like, Jokic kind of just like stopped playing mid-play. Like he put out his hands like this and let the ball bounce. And he was like, what is going on? And then he kind of tried to like do like a rip through to draw a foul there at the end. And they just like, I don't remember what they called. I think it went out of bounds.
Is it just Curtis Blair? Is that the only guy that does it? Because that's who ejected Tatum tonight. The ejection thing.
Was it Curtis Blair that tossed Malone?
And Jokic.
Was that Curtis Blair?
I think so. Looking at it.
Oh, yeah, I think it was, actually. For some reason, I was thinking it was Tony Brothers, but that was a different game.
It might have been Tony Brothers that might have tossed Malone. I need to go back to the Malone. Anyway.
I don't think they wouldn't be on the same crew. I'm pretty sure Curtis Blair was the crew chief.
There is just a problem in the NBA.
With the techs.
With the techs. Like,
the refs are way too quick to tee up star players for things.
No, like anybody. You should not, just because they said, I think you're doing a bad job, like nicely, because like what you sent us a text. What did Jokic even say to get ejected?
Apparently what Jokic yelled at the ref when he got ejected was, wake up. Which is just like such a, like, it's like the most polite way you could chew somebody out.
To be a jerk. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and I personally don't think that just because you're LeBron James or Jason Tatum or Nikola Jokic,
because
that you should get treated different.
From the standpoint of throwing you out, maybe a little bit, just because of that's like the product of the league that you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like
I'm more, and my brain is like the integrity of the game. Like, no, like there should just
I get that standpoint as well, but there's also like refs should just keep it in mind more so that like people aren't there to watch them. People are there to watch the players. You know what I mean? And so it's like if you feel wronged by one of the players, you shouldn't feel the need to be like, hey, you are going to get punished in this way that's going to keep you from playing for these fans that are here to see you play.
The leash used to be like the first tech like was very rare, and the second tech had an even longer leash. Like to get ejected, you had to like Draymond Green or DeMarcus Cousins like stomp or punch or scream or shove people.
Yeah, it's becoming really short now.
I feel like the first leash is like equally as long as it used to be, but you're like,
I disagree. Like all the text that we're getting, this is the main thing that I think needs to change.
The second one I feel like is just so, like if you get the first one, you just have to be an emotionless zombie so you don't get your second.
Yeah, but also the first one comes by way too easily in most cases. Like that Jokic one for the free throw thing, just like the ref made a terrible mistake. Like something that it's like inexcusable. You saw a player walk into you blew the whistle for that reason. And then you give them the ball back.
Yeah,
that's just a mistake.
Refs need to do press conferences.
Yeah, that's not even like a missed call. That's like
just wrong.
You did the wrong execution of what happens after the call you just made. You know what I mean? Like that shouldn't happen. Yeah, but so Jokic, the first tech coming by way too easily. The one that really bugs me that we've seen a lot lately, it's been getting worse every single year, is the one that is like after a play happens, after like a dunk, like Aaron Gordon. This happened to Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon dunks the ball. He swings a little bit on the rim, which he had the momentum that carried him to do this. He swung on the rim and just slapped the backboard as he jumped off, like as like a little bit of a celebration thing. After the ball's already scored, didn't affect anything, but the ref blows the whistle and calls him for a unnecessary excessive celebration technical, which did not delay the game in any way. Like that stuff shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't.
No,
let the guy slap the backboard.
The other thing that makes me mad is when guys hang on the rim for too long. Oh, it's because someone's underneath the rim, referee.
Sometimes
that's what happened to Giannis.
That's a big issue.
The one that I remember with Giannis earlier this year is he literally it was like a Shaq snapping of the rim, but he held on for a split second because I don't know who was under.
Somebody was under.
Someone was in the ballpark of what would be his landing area. So then he lets go literally less than a second. It's not like a hang there. It's like less than a second. And gets ejected. I think it was teed up and ejected, just gone.
And also the emotional plays of clapping or yelling after a play happens where it's a call they didn't like, but they don't even direct it at the referee. They're not even looking at the referee, but they do a fist bump, dang it type of thing, or clap or something like that. People get teed up for that all the time, and it makes me so mad as a fan, not even of the team that it's happening to, but it's what is the purpose of that? You're just. I think is the reason behind it that they would say the ref would answer with is they don't want the emotions to flare up too much. They want to stop it before it goes somewhere. It's how about just in those situations like that, just like let those things happen. And or once it crosses a line is when you should blow the whistle.
I just went through puberty again. Or another thing, like, do you remember Grant Williams when he punched the basketball and it went too far and then he got kicked out of a finals game?
Maybe.
It was in the finals.
Yeah, I do.
And then, like, when Scott Foster comes up to him and, like, ejects him, he's like, what? I was just trying to get it. And he's like, you can't punch the ball. He was like, like, nothing was malicious or mad. It was Grant Williams being Grant Williams. Like, was smiling, not sarcastically, while he was talking to Scott Foster. Just content. And he's like, you can't punch the ball. You're out. And he's like, okay. And then he leaves.
That's insane.
In a finals game.